Yes, it is. It's Walleye Wednesday, and thanks again so much for showing up. Last episode, Mike Borvik did an incredible job of explaining the needs for our industry to get youth involved. And today, I am proud to say that Walleye Wednesday and CFN are doing exactly that. With the good help of Big Sky Flies and Jakes, as well as Impact Baits, who are sponsoring this event. We have some high school kids that came last year that are coming again this year from the Napanee area. And we're going to put on a bit of a show. We're going to have some contests. We're going to have a little mini tournament, little CFN fish off. And I think we got a little bit of Red's recipes mixed in. So let's get started. Let's go open up the gate and let's go meet our guests. But before we get to any of that, let's have a look at some of the great walleye that have been caught since our last Walleye Wednesday. But more importantly, the releases.
Happy Walleye Wednesday! This one's going back, Scotty.
$26.5, 6.81 pounds. Let's get her back in there. Oh, yeah.
Out here on the Bay of Quinte with the boys, just got our first walleye of the day. Happy Walleye Wednesday!
Just landed this beauty walleye. Whew. What a battle. Nice big girl. We're gonna let her go. 27.5 inches, 7.14 pounds. Bye bye.
Sebastian.
Bay of Quinte walleye.
Yes, walleye, yes. There she goes.
Alright, there's Walter number 6 down the hole. Bastard.
Hang on.
Swab away.
Happy Walleye Wednesday, Scotty.
Happy Walleye Wednesday, Scotty. This one's for you.
This part of Walleye Wednesday is brought to you by Impact Baits, Canadian-made plastics for Canadian-made anglers. I tell you, events like this don't happen unless you've got great volunteers to help you out. We're going to meet one of them right now. Greg Kuntz.
What's up, Scotty?
Always a pleasure to see you, sir. Thanks
Absolutely.
ever so much. Now, you are with OFC, GCFA, and of course, we're lucky to have you here at CFN. This is a great event to bring kids out on the ice, show them a little bit about ice fishing.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I tell you, last night I couldn't sleep at all.
Is that right, eh?
I tossed and turned, and I'm like, I got to get back out. I got to get back out.
So what have you got in store for the kids today?
We'll go through some teaching. Just teach them how to ice fish, teach them a little bit of ice safety, and, you know, and basically have fun. That's
Beautiful.
The main point of the whole event.
Thanks again, Greg, for coming out.
Absolutely, bud.
Means a
Wouldn't
lot.
miss it for the world.
Right on, buddy. Yeah, baby. Let's meet another one of our volunteers and also the lead sponsor here today, Johnny DiBartello.
How are you, buddy?
Buddy, and I hear you're sick, unfortunately.
That's okay.
A little under the weather.
Nothing's going to keep me away from today.
Fantastic. You're with Impact Baits.
Yes, sir.
You've brought a plethora of plastics for our kids today.
Anything for the kids.
Absolutely. What have you got in store for the kids, and what are you going to be teaching them?
We're going to show the kids today a few different methods of fishing our plastics.
Yep.
We brought some of our mini, we call them our mini shots, which
Yep.
is a 2-inch minnow. You've
Yep.
fished with them before. So I'm going to show different ways that we can rig that on a jig head or a drop shot. Plus we've also got some other plastics as well, and just show them different things, different methods.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So here we are with yet another one of our volunteers, Ron Shirley.
Yes, sir.
Good neighbor of mine.
Awesome.
Doing some neighborly love out here.
Yeah.
I see you've already hooked up.
Yep.
Fantastic. And you showed me what you're going to be teaching the kids when it comes to the electronics.
Oh, yeah.
And how to get them, coax them off the bottom.
Yeah.
That's
it.
I say you got them dialed in, Ronnie.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for showing up. Right on.
Alrighty.
Well, I'll tell you, chumming certainly helped us. Is our next volunteer here, Daniel. He's got himself a nice Walter. Thanks again for showing up.
Thanks
and
for
helping out
having
with
me.
the kids. I see you've got lots to teach the kids as well.
I'm excited.
You're already
to
dialed
teach.
in. You've only been here, what, 10, 15 minutes? And you've already got your first Walter?
Yeah, that's what we do, and we like to teach these kids.
What have you got in store for them, Daniel? What are you planning on teaching them today?
Just
besides catching fish, of course.
Well, just how to respect the fish,
Amen.
how to release them,
Amen.
right?
Beautiful.
And how to enjoy the sport that we do here.
Right on. So from the Holy Cross Fishing Club at Scotty's Honey Hole and the CFN Ice Fishing Fish Off, we'd all like to wish you Happy Walleye Wednesday! Yeah, baby! So there we have it. Keith has our first fish of the day. Congratulations, Keith. And of course, with the first fish, we have a prize. And the prize today is the King Beaver gets a card from Tim Hortons.
Thank you.
Right on, buddy. Okay, Emily's releasing her walleye.
Happy Walleye Wednesday.
Yeah, baby. Yes, sir.
There you go.
Nice. Jacob Randall, CFN proud.
Oh, yeah.
Sporting the CFN swag.
Yeah.
Jacobs is basically the ringleader when it comes to the group that has come out here from Napanee, and you guys are from Holy Cross.
Yep. Holy Cross Catholic School.
I think it's amazing that you've got teachers that'll, give up some time to bring you guys to events such as this. But Jacob, I wanted to bring you in here first amongst all the other anglers for no other reason than to say thank you for setting this up this year. From a youth perspective, what do you think we need to do, or at least the industry needs to do, to get kids hooked on fishing?
I'm just going to let this guy go.
Absolutely,
really quick.
perfect.
So as far as getting youth involved in fishing,
yep.
I think as you and I both know as anglers, it's a very expensive sport. There's a lot of gear involved, whether you're ice fishing or open water. You need access to a boat.
Yeah.
Fishing from bank, it's just a very expensive sport all around.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing for kids is accessibility, especially if you don't have a parent that gets you into fishing. I'm very lucky that I have my dad.
Yes.
But if you don't have a parent that can get you into fishing, it can be very expensive and you don't know where to start. So it's really, really awesome that you've got guys out here helping some of our less experienced anglers. And I think honestly that just does so much for them.
Outside of this event, what have you got planned for the future of the Holy Cross Fishing? What do you call yourselves anyway?
We're the Holy Cross Fishing Team, basically, is what we do. We're more of a club, but we do technically compete in a couple events. So,
you do?
Yeah, we're a bit of a team, yeah.
Fantastic.
This year, for instance, we got our EduCast trip planned. So that's always a good one, usually June, so right at the end of school. We go up, fish in a tournament called EduCast 700 high school anglers from all around Ontario, fishing a couple stocked trout ponds for largemouth bass for the most part. So we go up and compete in that. We actually had one of our students finish top 10. I think he took second place last year. So, and we've had one person place in the top 10 every year that we've been there. Fantastic. So our school's been doing good. And then along with that, we do a nice big salmon charter on Lake Ontario. So it's just a great fishing weekend. And same thing, like getting kids out on that charter, catching 30-pound king salmon. If that doesn't get you hooked on fishing, I don't know what does.
Okay, I have to agree with you there. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, as I said, Jacob, thanks for setting this up. And I'll tell you, this is the future of our fishery right here. So thanks for everything you've done and are going to continue to do.
Yeah, and thanks for Scotty Martin for getting our club members out here. We've already got 2 guys today that have caught their first walleyes through the ice ever. We got another girl that caught her first fish ever. So this is a great experience for all our guys too, and we really appreciate you.
That's
having us
awesome,
out here.
buddy. Yeah, baby.
Thank you. Yeah,
yes.
baby.
Okay, so I'm here with Avery. Thanks for making the trip from Napanee.
No problem.
Avery, one of the things that we're asking all of you guys when it comes to the future of this sport, the future of this industry, is we all have passion. Now, who taught you how to fish? Who brought you into this sport?
Yeah, so
None of my family really fish. My grandpa sort of fished a little bit, and he originally sort of got me into it. At the cottage, we'd fish around, because we have a cottage up on a lake just up north there. So we'd sort of fish there a little bit, but I find it was really myself that sort of got it into it, but I wish that I had somebody who could really get me in and teach me things, but I was sort of just self-taught. Like I had a passion for the sport right off the bat, and I just started.
I find that with myself included. I was hooked. The first fish I ever caught, and I think it was a sunfish.
Yeah.
I was hooked for life.
Absolutely.
And seeing that thing at the end of your line was something.
Yeah.
In terms of what the industry can do, we certainly have EduCast, which you're familiar with, and some of the other sponsored events that go on. Drop Hook tournament that's going to be going on this summer. There's some great events. From a youth perspective, what can this industry do to get kids into fishing?
Yeah, I think programs such as a high school fishing club like we have, or even maybe at a younger age, sort of like what Darren Young is doing there with that last cast or whatever, next cast. I think that's awesome because he's getting kids, 6, 7, 8 years old into fishing at a very young age, and then maybe once they get up into high school, they can start fishing high school tournaments like they have down in the States and bigger end tournaments.
That's great idea. Okay, so I'm here with
Matt Ducharme.
Matt Ducharme, pleasure to have you here. From a youth perspective, what can the industry do better at getting more kids involved in fishing?
Just trying to get people sort of started more young, I guess, and from there just kind of keep getting the kids out, and then I guess that gets a good bit of kids interested in the sport.
Right on. And who taught you how to fish? Like who introduced you to this sport?
My dad started me off.
It's usually the way. Usually it's a grandpa. Usually it's a dad. Some instances we have mothers that have introduced their kids to fishing. Now, outside of coming out to this event, are you involved in the EduCast that goes on?
I've not done that.
Are you doing tournaments at all?
No, I just kind of recreational weekend kind of thing.
See, you're like me. I'm not big on the, because I love just getting out here and enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah.
And as I said, I tip my hat to those tournament anglers because that is a different type of fishing, and it's extremely competitive. And as I say, it's not something that I enjoy doing because I'd rather come out and just wet a line. Now, are you familiar with ice fishing? Do you do a lot of ice fishing?
I haven't been out a lot this year. I did a little bit last year, but this is just sort of where I'm starting to learn a little bit more ice fishing.
What do you normally target if you do go ice fishing? What kind of fish?
Just panfish and pike, that sort of stuff, good for the table.
So you're from the Napanee area. What bodies of water do you fish when you're out there?
Dog Lake, Sydenham Lake, Bay of Quinte if it has ice.
Yes, absolutely. And there are some big fish out on the Bay of Quinte.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely, buddy. Get out there because we're not catching fish sitting here talking. How many years have you been with Holy Cross Fishing Club?
2.
2 years?
Yep.
So you're in grade what?
11.
Oh, okay. So you got a couple years ahead of you. That's good.
Yep.
Well, hopefully we'll be seeing lots of you in the future. Nick, what I've been asking all your classmates is what the industry has to do in terms of getting youth more involved. Obviously we identified that there's a bit of an issue when it comes to the influx of young anglers coming up through the ranks. We as an industry have to focus more on making the future look a lot brighter than it does right now when it comes to you youth anglers. So can you give us some advice from a youthful perspective, what we need to do?
I think there should be more high school fishing clubs and stuff like this
Amen.
one.
Amen.
I don't think there's any other school in Kingston. I'm not sure though.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, being an adult and knowing the teaching profession, I mean, for teachers to devote time on the weekend to take young anglers like you out and come all the way from Napanee to do it is quite something. Yeah, absolutely. That would be a great start. Do you do any tournaments yourself?
I did one with the school a couple months ago at Liberal League.
So pretty much anything you do youthful orientated is through the school, right? Other than, of course, you go fishing with your buddies and this, that, and everything else.
Yeah.
What do you do outside of the school? Do you do any personal tournaments? Anything that you do on the side?
I don't really do any other tournaments.
So all your fishing is basically with this club?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's incredible. Wow. I saw you got hooked up. Have you got a fish on the ice?
Not yet.
Well, we're working on it, that's for sure. Yeah. One of the things, Lee, that we're going to be doing today, as we've been doing with all your other classmates, who got you into fishing?
My dad got me into fishing when we were from out west in Alberta.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and we moved here about 3 years ago. And one summer we got the canoe down and some fishing rods, and we went out fishing in the canoe. And
right on. What body of water did you fish?
Lake Ontario and Collins Bay.
Nice. And that's a lot of pike in that
a lot of pike.
Body of water. Yeah. So, Liam, what I've been asking all your classmates is one of the things that we see or identify as a bit of a problem going forward in this industry is getting more youth involved. We're not seeing that influx of young anglers like myself who grew up, you know, with their dad or grandpa teaching them how to fish. What can our industry do better at getting youth involved?
I think what we're doing right now with the school clubs and everything, having kids come down.
Do you do tournaments at all?
No, we do school tournaments though. I did do one tournament with Mr. Hunter with the school. We came 3rd place, which was pretty cool.
And it's rare to find teachers that will devote this kind of time. Like this is a Sunday, right? And they're out on their spare time. So as I said, as the industry, we have a vested interest in making sure that we get more and more young people involved. And I'll tell you, Lee, events like this and the others that Mr. Hunter takes you to, I think that's going to get her done.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thanks for doing this.
No problem.
Thanks. Okay, I'm here with Emily. What's your last name, Emily?
Crawford.
Fantastic. You came all the way from Napanee, as your other classmates did.
Yes.
I managed to see you catch your first fish, your first walleye through the ice.
Yes.
Kudos to you. Fantastic. Who got you into fishing, Emily?
My dad did. He loves fishing.
Oh,
So
yeah?
when I was younger, when he would go fishing, he'd take us along with like those little Dora rods and stuff. And I loved it.
That's awesome. What bodies of water did you fish when you were younger?
I can't remember only because it was in Alberta. I used to live there.
You lived in Alberta as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I moved here when I was 10, so I can't really remember off the top of my head what lakes we would fish in, but we did definitely fish in the Red Deer River.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite the fishery. Emily, what I've been asking a lot of your classmates that have come in here, what do we need to do? Because as I say, I can't beat the dead horse enough. Getting youth involved in our industry. What does the industry need to do to get more of you, especially female anglers, involved in fishing?
I think if you get in touch with the schools, because I know not a lot of people's parents or just in general, their family go out fishing like on weekends, and some people might be interested in trying it. So having fishing groups at other schools, they could just like try it out one time to see how they like it, and they might fall in love with it and just go with the school instead of bugging their parents to drive them 2 hours to a lake or something.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So outside of this club, do you do any other fishing on your own?
Yeah, I do some in the summer. I
Okay.
fish a little in the summer, and I haven't fished in a little while in the ice and stuff, so I fish a little, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm here with Keith.
Yep.
Glad to have you. Keith was the winner of our first fish of the day. Managed to hook a couple, actually. You've done quite well. Have you hooked any more after the 2?
No, it just was the 2, and then before then I lost one.
And you're marking fish, though. Everybody's marking fish. Keith, who got you into fishing?
It was mostly like my dad.
Yep.
But like we never actually went fishing.
Okay.
So I had to go out on my own. And then when I actually met Jake, he got me really into it and hunting too.
You know, and that's the thing about Jacob. Like, I can't say enough about it when it comes to guys like him that have a burr in their saddle when it comes to getting other kids involved. And he's done a fantastic job. He's kind of our mentor when it comes to us older guys on the upcoming youth that's going to be flooding this industry. But it's something that is addressed all the time, Keith. What do we need to do as an industry to get more of you young kids involved?
I think more of just like the catch and release, so preserve it. I think that's important, and then maybe just make it fun, like those family day things.
Absolutely. So you're a part of EduCast. You do EduCast. Do you do any tournaments outside of the CFN ice fish off that we're going to be doing today?
No.
So that might be a good idea, is getting more kids-orientated events like Drop Hook and some of the other ones that CFN sponsors and endorses. Jacob mentioned something too about the cost. Like, obviously, the cost of getting into angling isn't good for a kid who's got a minimum. Now, I mean, minimum wage has gone up, mind you, but not enough to get Vexlers and flashers and high-end rods and whatever. So probably making it a little bit more affordable would help too, eh?
Yeah.
Well, Keith, we're not catching fish sitting in here.
No.
Let's get back at her. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
okay, I'm here with Jake. What's your last name?
Moran.
Moran. Right on, Jake. And you came all the way from the Napanee area. Who got you into fishing?
Oh, my dad.
Yeah? In the Napanee area? Is that where you normally fish?
Oh, no, up in Calabogie on the Madawaska River.
Okay, and that is quite a fishery. Do you think, as a young angler, you need to catch fish in order to get the passion?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think catching a lot of numbers gets kids into fishing because it's constant action and some kids don't have the patience for it.
Outside of improving the fishery, getting young and keeping this future bright, getting young people involved in the fishing industry is key and crucial from a youthful perspective that we need to do to get more people involved.
I definitely think getting all the schools involved, because just that's where all the kids are, and having more clubs and tournaments and like prizes, because you want something to compete for.
Absolutely. Jake, thanks for coming all the way from Napanee.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Let's go catch some fish.
Well, she's not a complete day of ice fishing if there's not a little bit of Red's recipes thrown in to fill our bellies and warm our souls. But I want to take this opportunity to thank teachers Matt and Tim Hunter for taking time out on a busy Sunday and driving these kids all the way from Napanee and being the true mentors that this industry truly needs in order to get kids into fishing.
Walleye Wednesday, baby.
Yes! Nice work, Les. Nice work. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you for coming. Okay, I know it's a lot of a trek, long trek from Napanee to come all this way, and I wish the fish had cooperated a little bit better than they did. But we'd like to first thank Tim and Matt, your teachers, for taking the time on the weekend to bring you guys out. Great job. Woo! I'd also like to thank the volunteers that showed up on their day off and just before the Super Bowl. We have Mark Thompson, Greg Kuntz, of course my buddy Red Andel, Johnny DiPartello, and we had Ronnie and Daniel as well that had to leave early. So let's get to the hardware. So for the biggest fish, I believe it was Jake that got that. So there's Jake. Congratulations. Fantastic, buddy. Congratulations, my friend. This is an award that sort of personifies CFN. I'm going to award this myself. It's for the most sportsmanlike. And of course that goes to you, Jacob Randall, for giving up your first seed spot and picking a hole.
Oh, thank you.
So good to you, buddy. Fantastic.
Grab whatever two you want.
This is also right up CFN's alley with the smallest fish. This is a CFN hat, and it signifies CFN to a T. So who caught the smallest one? Was it you?
Me and Avery tied.
Oh yeah, we tied it.
Okay, well this one goes to Avery.
Yeah, perfect.
Fantastic. Congratulations, my friend. Good job. Last but not least, the one who caught the most fish. It wasn't a lot, but it was enough to win. You again, Jake. Good job, buddy. Congratulations, my friend. So guys, safe trip home. Thanks ever so much for showing up. We look forward to seeing you in 2019. Hopefully there's a few of you left over. I know, Jacob, you're going to spearhead the event for next year. So we look forward to that. But spread the word, guys. CFN is all about getting kids fishing. Thanks so much for participating in the interview process. Walleye Wednesday won't be coming out this Wednesday. It'll be the following Wednesday. So make sure you look for each other and make fun of each other and everything they did and said.
Happy Walleye Wednesday.
Happy Walleye Wednesday, everybody.
Yes, sir. There you go. Beautiful. Yeah, baby.
Yes, sir.
CFN and Walleye Wednesday would also like to thank the continued support of Big Sky Flies and Jigs, Gremlin's Custom Baits, Linda Miller at Remax, and of course our good friends over at Horwood Lake Lodge, who are sponsoring our 4K giveaway.